I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will.
Or lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping 2 divisions.
Against lesser competition. Knocks him the hell out. Canelo doesn't finish these guys, and he doesn't look good beating them. Shout out to the judges. The judges make Canelo look good.
Andre Ward praises Terence Crawford as one of boxing's greatest finishers. He explains that Crawford's killer instinct is what makes him so dangerous. When he senses weakness or sees an opponent hurt, he doesn't give them a chance to recover. Instead, Crawford unleashes relentless pressure with sharp combinations and perfect timing until the fight is decisively over. Ward believes facing such a fighter means that one mistake from Canelo Alvarez could lead to a devastating ending, making Crawford a formidable threat at any stage.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody. You got to show me that you can beat.
Andre Ward expresses deep respect for both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as they prepare to face each other. He emphasizes that this isn't just another payday, but a battle where both fighters are risking their legacies. Ward admires the courage it takes for 2 champions, with already impressive resumes, to go all in against each other. For him, this matchup elevates boxing, showcasing true greatness and the sport's best qualities. Something he genuinely appreciates and admires.
Man, what's up, fight fans? It's official. I'm gonna be the 3rd man ringside, calling the Canelo Alvarez Terence Crawford fight September 13th at Allegiant Stadium. I'm excited to be a part of this event. I'm excited to be ringside, calling this great card and this great matchup. Historic event for many, many reasons for both fighters. Super middleweight supremacy on the line, legacy's on the line, your namesake and reputation is on the line. And I just take my hat off to both of these fighters for putting everything on the line late in their careers the way that they are. This is rare, and it's becoming more and more rare in boxing. Guys don't want this kind of smoke. They really don't want to face another counterpart that can ruin everything that they've built. And it really don't matter how much money's on the table for a lot of guys. They'd rather take a lesser risk for less money than to risk everything like these 2 fighters are doing. So I take my hat off to them. And I also want to give a shout out to Turki Al-Sheikh for all that he's done to put this fight on. Dana White for all that he's done to put this fight on. And one more person that stays out the way and you don't really hear a lot about, but that has done a lot to make this fight happen as well. And that's my brother, Nick Khan. He just gets stuff done, man. And I want to thank him and shout him out as well for getting this done. So I'll see y'all in Vegas, man. Part of me wants to be home watching this fight in street clothes, but I got to take the street clothes off. I got work to do. I got to put that suit on, get ringside with John and Max, and call this fight like I know we can. Huge event, huge implications, historic night, and I'm happy to be a part. I hope to see you in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. If not, man, tune in live on Netflix.
Robot Garcia shared his analysis of Canelo Alvarez's recent performances, noting that Canelo has not been at his sharpest lately. He observed a decline in Canelo's hand speed and footwork, making him appear less dangerous than in his prime. For a fighter like Crawford, who excels at exploiting timing and precision, these lapses could be a critical opening. Garcia believes that if Canelo cannot regain his earlier sharpness, Crawford's speed, angles, and adaptability could turn the fight in his favor, highlighting concerns that Canelo might be past his peak.
Jumping 2 divisions where he only had 1 fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
appreciate
for coming.
it. Thank you
Very much.
Cheers.
Teddy Atlas raised concerns about Canelo Alvarez's training ahead of his fight with Crawford. He warned that Canelo might be overextending himself by pushing too hard during camp, especially with the inclusion of a young, dynamic welterweight like Jiren Ennis. Atlas stresses that training smart is just as vital as training hard, and overtraining could drain Canelo physically and mentally before fight night. This overexertion might leave him vulnerable against Crawford, who is known for high-paced, precise fighting.
Now, so I avoided that. I would bring in specific sparring partners that knew how to be a sparring partner. Yeah, if I wanted some, I went over to him before the day started. Listen, I want you to do this. All right, Ted. I'm paying him. I have the right to do that. I want you to move more today. I want you to, I want you to press him a lot. You know what? There was a fight I was getting a guy ready for, and I was worried about the first couple rounds. So I said, when the bell rings, I want you to rush out of the corner and go right after him. And I was, obviously I had my guy ready because we were getting ready for that kind of fight plan, for the possibility that the opponent would come out that way. So I wouldn't look to get a boots Ennis. I mean, nothing wrong with that's what they want. That's fine. And I get it, the style, the size, the length. I understand. It's not a bad pick from that point of view. But for me, again, I never go down that road because I got my guy getting ready for a fight. I don't want to leave it in the gym. I don't want to get into that kind of war in the gym. No, I want to have control of all aspects of what the hell I'm doing in the gym to get ready for one night. So no, I wouldn't do that. I'd get the right sparring partners. If I thought I had a guy, I get guys that my guy could work with, and if he was having an off day, he could kind of, have his way and do what he wanted with the guy. I'd have one of them. I'd probably have 3 guys, sometimes 4, depending on where we were at, with the calendar when the fight was coming up.
Building on his previous points, Teddy Atlas suggested that Canelo's toughest battles might be happening in the gym. He believes Canelo's intense sparring sessions, while impressive to observers, could deplete his physical and mental reserves. If Canelo enters the fight exhausted or less explosive, Crawford's high-paced style and sharp timing could exploit that weakness. Atlas warns that overtraining might diminish Canelo's peak performance, giving Crawford a significant advantage.
And a lot has been taken out of you in the gym. You left it in the gym. And we heard that Jaron Boots Ennis was getting the best of Canelo Alvarez in his sparring sessions. That he possibly gave him a black eye. We saw the knot on his head. That was just a week ago. The fight is next week, next Saturday. So 3 weeks out from the fight, and you having this hard sparring sessions with Jaron Boots Ennis, who wants to prove a point. Leave no doubt. Jaron Ennis is going into those sparring sessions not just to be a sparring partner, but to gauge where he stands against a legend and a Hall of Famer and a superstar like Canelo Alvarez, to understand where he can get better and understand that he can actually compete on that level. So make no mistake about it. Jaron Boots Ennis wasn't in there to lay down. Now, he had a job to do. He was there for a specific reason, which is to give Canelo looks that Terence Crawford could possibly give him. But you best believe in those sparring sessions, he gonna give what he have. He gonna test the waters to see where he stands, right? Not just to help Canelo, not just to be a dummy. There's a reason you bring in a high-profile fighter. And so Teddy Atlas believes this is a huge mistake on Canelo Alvarez's part, because now he has possibly left it in the gym. And now he got to go into battle with Terence Crawford. So it's like having 2 fights in a matter of 3 weeks. And your body's going to show the wear and tear.
A key element in this matchup is Canelo Alvarez's enduring punching power. Even when he appears slower or less mobile, his ability to land crushing shots keeps opponents cautious, often leading to longer fights and decision wins rather than knockouts. However, against Crawford, relying solely on power may not suffice. Crawford's proven ability to break down cautious fighters with patient setups, traps, and sudden bursts means Canelo's power alone might not be enough to stop him. A more complete strategy will be necessary for Canelo to succeed.
And no, for sure. I mean, we gotta see that fucking Canelo got power. That's the same reason why, at the same time, Canelo ends up going a distance with a lot of these guys, because these guys are just on survivor mode, you know? They're not trying to fight back. They're not trying to win. They're just surviving, which is hard to knock somebody out that's just surviving, you know? So I feel like Canelo's power is definitely there. I just think it's just a matter of how Crawford reacts when he feels it, you know? Is he gonna be one of those survivors, or is he gonna actually, you know?
No, I think Crawford will go out on the shield. I think he's gonna fight and go out like a warrior.
At the same time, I feel like he does that, then it gives Canelo a chance to be able to clip him, you know? More of a chance.
Turkey said no more Tom and Jerry. I don't expect him to run.
I mean, I don't expect him to run, but at the same time, it's boxing, you know? It's boxing, it's hit and don't get hit, swim and not get
Is that what Haney did when he fought Jose Ramirez?
That's a different type of...
Is that what William Skull did when he fought Canelo?
Yeah, you see, I feel like it's just because I feel like when you watch Bivol versus Betterby, the second fight, that's great boxing right there.
Analysts have questioned the quality of Canelo's recent victories, arguing that his performances have lacked the dominance of his prime. Instead of emphatic knockouts, many recent wins have been tactical grindouts that relied more on size and strength. In contrast, Crawford brings a wider and more layered skill set, including slick punching, stance changing, and exceptional ring IQ that could pose serious problems for Canelo. Many experts favor Crawford's chances, believing his versatility and technical prowess could outweigh Canelo's power and experience.
He knocks him the hell out. Canelo doesn't finish these guys, and he doesn't look good beating them. You know, shout out to the judges. The judges make Canelo look good for the past 6 fights. And so now we sit here, you know, what is Canelo going to do against Crawford? And while some of you are saying, you know, domination and weight, really the only thing that I hear is his weight, his power, his weight, his power, his weight, his power. And that's all that he has. But when I get to talking about Crawford, we'll dive into that.
Well, to Byron's point, the last super quality fight that Canelo had was against Dimitri Bivol, and we all know what happened with that. You know,
no, I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent. I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent.
Well, it was Caleb Plant, then it was Bivol.
Right.
Plant, then Bivol.
Well, don't forget to point out that Bivol came down, right?
No, that was 175.
Canelo went up.
Canelo went up.
So that kind of puts Canelo at a disadvantage, right? He tested.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say that, if you want to say that,
I mean, you know,
I can.
But I mean, I'm not saying that that's an excuse for him for losing. I'm just saying, hey, you know, if you're gonna test yourself to be great, you gotta wear the consequence.
So let me ask. So no, you're right, 100%. But let me ask you a question. I'm just asking because I don't know. Like, so when you watching that fight, did you think it was a weight issue, or did you think it was more of a skill and boxing thing when watching that fight with Bivol and Canelo?
I thought he was outclassed.
I agree.
Yeah,
it was
outclassed,
and it looked like he was being outclassed by basic fundamental.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So that was my point. That's what I'm.
Right.
I don't think Bivol's weight had anything to do with him because Bivol's not a knockout artist.
And this legendary power that y'all speak of, this taking Zeus God power that he has, it did not show in that fight.
Gabe Rosado leans toward favoring Canelo Alvarez in this matchup, citing Canelo's extensive experience on the biggest stages. Rosado points out that Canelo has consistently faced elite opponents under immense pressure, building a high-profile resume. Conversely, Crawford has not yet fought in a fight of such global magnitude. This experience edge gives Canelo a psychological advantage and a sense of confidence going into the fight, which could be a decisive factor in their showdown.
I favor Canelo, not by a lot, but I do favor him. I just think that, you know, I think the Skull fight was just a bad style. And I think Canelo was like, why force the issue? You know what I mean? I'm up, this guy's running, I'm not gonna take a chance So I think that it was that kind of fight for Canelo. But Madrimov did give Crawford problems, you know what I'm saying? And where I felt like, damn, at 54, he gave you problems. 68 is different, you know what I'm saying? So you going up 3 weight classes, because he was 47, 54, 60, 68, that's 3 weight classes. It's a major difference, man. And you know, one thing is like, right, so people are saying Canelo has problems with movers, but the reality is Crawford's not a mover. Crawford's not a fighter that fights on his feet in the sense of boxing, kind of like, let's say, how a Pernell Whitaker would box or how Andy Lara would box. Crawford is a fighter that works on angles. He's not on his feet like Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? He's not that kind of boxer. So he's going to be there to get hit, you know? And I feel like that favors Canelo, because Canelo's going to hit you in the arms. He's going to hit you in the elbows. He's going to hit anything you give him, he's going to take it. You know what I mean? And now, is Crawford just going to switch his style and become a mover, moving up 3 weight classes? So now you're going to put all that weight on your legs, and you never boxed like that before. How can you do that